I'm the curator of the Artangel collection, which is a collection of moving image works commissioned and produced by Artangel over the last 25 years. I collaborate with curatorial colleagues from publicly funded museums and galleries around the UK. I've shown works in a boathouse on the Isle of Skye, in a former colliery turned museum in Northumberland, and we're currently collaborating with the Arts Council collection to show a series of our works alongside the Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery's Arts Council collection exhibition. I've been on quite a few of the Arts Council collection curators' days, and they've always been a really useful opportunity to catch up with colleagues that I'm collaborating with. One of this year's curators' days was at the opening of the Venice Biennale, and on the second day we visited the Diaspora Pavilion. The pavilion features 19 artists and 38 works by those artists. And it was curated by David A. Bailey and Nicola Green, who gave us a great tour around the show. And we were lucky enough to have lots of the artists involved on hand to talk us through their works, and it was great to be able to meet them there in the show. You enter into the exhibition through Susan Puy-Sanloc's Golden, which is a series of curtains that you might find in a social club in a sort of ballroom setting, this quite cheap gold material in several layers. As you enter through this curtain, you also hear several of her audio works that cut together the use of the word golden in records taken from her parents' record collection. And the work is looking at her father's experience coming to the UK and taking up ballroom dancing as a kind of entry into UK culture. Barbara Walker's piece was made specifically for the palazzo, these huge charcoal drawings on the wall of the stairwell that she spent several weeks before opening drawing there every day. They represent West Indian soldiers who took part in World War I, but because of the hierarchy within the army at that time, they weren't actually able to fight, but were just doing more menial but quite heavy-duty tasks like carrying ammunition. And this is to kind of draw their stories out and give them representation for their contribution in that conflict. Also in the pavilion is Yinka Shonibari's British Library, which is a series of books that are bound in his sort of signature batik Dutch print. And these, on the spines of the books, are the names of various significant cultural figures in the UK who have migrated to this country from elsewhere, such as Prince Philip or Helen Mirren. But then also on the book spines are different figures who at times over the last couple of centuries have tried to frustrate migration into this country. The Diaspora Pavilion was this amazing experience that kind of kept on revealing more and more. There were so many rooms within the palazzo and so many new works to discover. It was just a great place to spend a lot of time because you kept finding more and more works as you walked around this like amazingly dense and rich show.